So you're live,
Yeah, we're
and there's
live.
no change.
Hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let's see here.
I don't see anybody in the chat.
Yeah, we'll just see when somebody comes on. And then we'll ask if they can hear.
This is so weird. Oh, here
Hi,
we have
Shabaka.
Shabaka. Help, Shabaka, help.
Shabaka, can you hear me?
Shabaka is here, yeah.
Hold on.
We're having problems, Shabaka. We needed a third person to come in, so thank you.
She got the notification, but
I can't hear.
yeah, she says, yes, I do both.
That's weird. So you can hear both of us, but I can't hear Scorpio Moon. That's really weird. We changed browsers and everything.
Yeah. So
I guess we could go over the new moon and you'll be in the chat, I guess. That's really weird. Maybe it's a program bug.
Yeah, so it's just weird.
Do you want me to start with the review?
Hold on, let's see. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gang, we don't know what's going on, but this is a Scorpio new moon holding hands with Mercury in Scorpio, which is retrograde. And this is a classic example. We're having computer issues. So the exact full new moon for the Pacific Coast time was very late on Wednesday night, close to midnight. And then yesterday on the East Coast in the wee hours of the morning. You both sound and no delay. So Shabaka says we're broadcasting okay.
Okay,
I
so
can't hear Scorpio Moon.
It's fine.
But she can hear me. So we don't know what's going on. Mercury retrograde, yes, and Cassini, right. And also a conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And that is, Scorpio is all about deep secrets, deep emotion, things hidden. This new moon with the various aspects to other planets is about purging deep old gunk. I saw this weird video of a mechanic unscrewing this lady's washing machine, and it was covered in piles and piles of dust and hair and muck. And and he took a vacuum, and so at the end it was all shiny and clean, and that kind of reminded me of what this new moon is like. It's like in our electromagnetic energy or subconscious, we have past patterns and gunk that intellectually we feel we've processed and let go and moved on, but somewhere deep inside, we're still affected by things from our past. And so this new moon, I would think, would be a really good time to be more reclusive, to thoroughly, process those things that we think we have let go of and have done, but maybe there's some residual energy that we've not completely let go of. Saturn Neptune in Pisces is our weather patterns. And what is Uranus doing with this? So Uranus is involved with that as well. Uranus is opposite this new moon. So that is seismic activity with the earth plates. Oh my goodness. So Shabak, can you see Shabaka's chat? Scorpio
Yeah.
moon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is so interesting because Mercury is about communication, and we're sort of evolving into a new way of our show. We're communicating like through texting and audio, and it's kind of weird. So
It's called
anyway, that Scorpio energy is very deep and penetrating. It's about liking to get to the very root of an issue. Saturn, Neptune in a aspect together could mean hidden tooth decay. Saturn is about bones and teeth. Um, Neptune can hide and be, it's also Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn and Jupiter are also retrograde along with Mercury. So let me get my book here a little bit better in front of me. So Saturn goes direct on November 29th, the same time that Mercury goes direct. So we're on the 21st, and that means this time next weekend we will have Mercury and Saturn stationing direct on the same day. So that might be a grand revelation of some kind, a grand enlightenment of some kind, because Mercury retrograde energy tends to cloud and hide. And Neptune in and of itself and Scorpio, they have their own natural veil of mystery too. So when they're retrograde, that adds to that veil that we're not seeing. Plumbing problems could be an issue. In one more, so I think it was the morning of the new moon, my toilet and my shower head both sprung a leak, almost like within minutes of each other. I haven't looked at my chart to see what degree that was, but that's definitely, a domestic, very personal, in your I like that. Well, you're here to teach him something, Shibaka. My astrology teacher always said that one of the most frustrating things about reading charts and introducing people to their charts was that you just had your bathtub pipe sick. So yeah, there's a heavy plumbing subject matter with Saturn, Neptune. They're both in Pisces. They're both retrograde. I think the leak I had in my shower head was probably hidden. And then finally the couplings cracked. And, I'm like taking a shower and it's like pretty quiet. And all of a sudden I hear this, psh. I'm like, what is that noise? And I look up and it's this water spraying out. I tried to fix it to only realize that it was actually cracked. And what gets me is it's not that old. I've replaced it in the last 6 months. Oh. So anyway, she used to say that in the ethers, before our soul enters a body, we work with our spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever terminology you like to use, to cast our chart for how we will enter the life path. And we will choose the parents we come into this life with and our family. And that is one of the most frustrating things when, because families who we're closest to, and, to have the adversity, certainly opportunities to learn the most intense nature of love itself, forgiveness. Some really hard lessons come with our relationships to our family, and some very difficult. Scorpio is all about the life, death, life cycle in everything. So this is also, when we're purging the old unconscious gunk, we're also, having to let go and seeing an ending, and that can be emotional. Um, you know, I was listening to a man talking about his grief. He had lost his wife in recent months, and how grief is this weird emotion where you think you've grieved and you can be over it, and out of nowhere it can trigger again. And that's kind of what I mean about the gunk in our electromagnetic fields and subconscious mind. That, and for me, I think the subconscious mind is our electromagnetic field. So and there can be things there that we don't even know, but meeting someone or hearing a song or reading something in a book can trigger like a memory or a feeling, and it reinvents that cycle. And that's what Scorpio is about, is reinventing ourselves constantly. Every day is a birthday, right? So it's that constant renewals. And the new moon, being a new moon, is also the emphasis on starting something new. And, you know, um, even if it's like a project or something you've been working on that hasn't, come together the way you wanted it to, the new moon would be, an acceptance of where you are with it, and to start in another direction with it, or to come at it from another perspective. And I just saw the word toxic in the chat. That's another part about letting go of really close relations, family or long held friendships, is sometimes it is best to let them go. And that can be very difficult too. And I think the main message that, the man was trying to say about grief is not to dismiss it, that when it does come up, to sit with it and acknowledge it and allow it to move through you. I think it's so Neptune and Pisces, Neptune is all about denial. It's about drugs affecting our vision of things, or fantasy, delusion, self-delusion. And so it's at home, it's at its 29th degree, and that is very, very powerful. It doesn't go direct until like December the 10th, and it doesn't actually get into Aries until the very end of January. So, we I think we kind of touched on Aries, and then oh no, I guess that was another planet. But anyway, we've had this Neptune in Pisces now for a couple of years, and that's at its home, and that is all about fantastical things and visions. It's extremely psychic, and the psychic faculty um, uh, is where our strong suit is. You know, that we, as we're doing this grieving or purging, that we are in touch with our innermost quiet voice and honoring it. And sometimes that inner quiet voice will say something we don't want to hear. And so it really is about honoring yourself. Um, a lot of the purging, I think, is to do with that fixing kind of thing that everyone has been involved with, either with themselves or another person, where um, a person could be in denial about their drinking, for instance. You know, what's a few beers every night? Well, every night and on for years, that's a problem. But in their mind, they have it under control, and it doesn't keep them from going to work or functioning. Um, you know, what it's doing on the liver or the kidneys is, you know, no one's going to know for years of that kind of abuse. So, you know, this is a big thing about self-care and loving yourself. And sometimes that can mean walking away from a family member or relationship that has not supported you with your self-care. I want to catch up here on these. I see chat going on, and I'm thinking and can't read and think at the same time. Okay, so bathtub pipes fixed in the wall. Oh wow, that's not fun. Linda, don't ever let me choose again. Oh, you know, they say, whoever they are, those wise counselors in white robes and the ethers, that when you're in the ethers with no form, you're not in a body, and you're pure joy and light, you have no emotions. You don't feel anything but that pure light, love, and joy. And that spirits look down on humans having this journey in a meat suit and want to do it again, because we're feeling everything, whether good, bad, ugly, indifferent. That's what happens when the spirit enters the human vessel, is all of these emotions and feelings. So we say we won't do it again, but we get up there and do it again anyway. I've done charts for many adopted people, and I'm so glad you've had the best parents. I'm currently healing from, yeah, toxic people can be really so damaging to our soul. As mom is out of the house, but I'm with you, Linda. It does feel a little heavy. I'm doing my best to be optimistic as far as presenting this material, but Scorpio is intense and it's deeply emotional. And when you're talking about deep hidden secrets coming into the light, that can be jarring, right? That can be unsettling. This is a huge time of things like fraud and scams and scandalous things. You want to be really careful with your personal information, your finance information, double checking everything. Um, Now with AI, they can be so realistic with how they can call you or email you. They can emulate an email that would look exactly like a client or a friend and it not be. So be extra vigilant with all matters relating to electronics and your personal information and your identity, because this is a really um, it's a really prime type of energy for deception and anything that's fraudulent. I don't know if y'all have noticed a increased activity with AI, like robo calls or um, phishing emails. Almost daily, it seems like I'm deleting, an insurance company soliciting something, or um, iCloud storage. You're going to lose all your pictures, and they have a different name and an iPhone, which I'm an Android user. So, I mean, just really weird, really, the thing that baffles me is with all the technology, why can't we do better than that to protect those communication lines? It's just so massive. Um, I guess it's hard to vet it all. So I don't know if anybody has Bitcoin. I think Scorpio Moon, you got rid of yours some time ago. I got rid of almost everything. So I still have a Coinbase wallet that I've been watching, and it's been tanking like really bad this week. Yeah, yeah. And I only left enough in there that I was willing to lose. They say it's going to rebound again. Who knows? But that sort of volatility with money and finances is also this energy, and another reason why, double check your accounts. Don't make any assumptions. If emails you get telling you something, just verify, verify, verify is the key word for this time period. Um, of course, with all new moons, it's about planting new intentions, starting something new. And with it being Scorpio related, this would be to have to do with pursuing your passions, right? Like it could be some kind of direction you want to take that is different from your current career path, or um, you know, I have a friend who just out of nowhere a while back went to scuba diving lessons, and it's a whole group thing, and they do group trips all over the world for prime scuba diving opportunities. So that was really out of her nature of anything she has ever done. She's older, and it was just a deep passion she had always had, and she pursued it. And yes, the cloning, yes. I saw another video about a man who had blood from his deceased dog and used it for cloning a new dog, and it had a picture of his cloned dog with the old dog, and they were very, very, very similar. Of course, that takes tons and tons of money, and he was one of these like heavy investors in biotechnology. So this was part of his field or whatever to do. It wasn't just, Mr. Jones next door getting blood from his vet and cloning his dog. It was somebody in the industry. Let's see, my moon in Scorpio, yes, and sun in Capricorn. Quite the combo with all. Yeah, you're very similar to Scorpio moon. And right. So that's another thing about the time that's upon us is, age is just a number. It's what you perceive it to be, just like everything is what you perceive it to be. I think it's really important to not have stereotypical judgments about anything. We judge ourselves. You see all of this sort of mass advertising towards seniors because it's a huge population with the baby boomers retiring, and all of this sort of preconceived idea about you're gonna lose your memory, you're gonna lose your muscle, you're gonna and it doesn't have to be that way, and you don't have to believe that way, but you're fighting against sort of a current of um, a herd mentality, so to speak. Like people get on board with some idea, and it takes off, and you have to be willing to like hop off that bus and go your own way. And Scorpio is a really good energy to be that unique, go your own way type of energy. Once we get into the spring of 2026 and we have Neptune going into Aries and Pluto, is now firmly into Aquarius. You know, Mars will be in Aquarius there, and Venus at the first of the year. And Aquarius is all about your individuality. It's all about being different and not going with the flow. And, people standing up to say no, people standing up and that is a global kind of wave, I think, not just personal or in regions. I think that globally, populations of people, as secrets uncover, that we've thought one way or another forever, or been told one thing or another forever, as light comes to um, some nefarious activities, uh, people realize that you have to question everything, and that's why using this type of energy to practice your own psychic ability is really important in small ways. Just exercising that part of your brain, it's like any muscle, you just have to practice it. And I'll hear people say, oh, I'm not psychic at all. Everybody is psychic. Everybody has a third eye and a psychic ability. It's just whether or not they give it attention. Things like not using caller ID to see who's calling, but actually in your mind thinking, who do you think that is calling first? If you're pumping gas at the gas pump, what numbers are the final dial going to read when you're finished with your pumping your gas? Same way with checking out, with the total of what's your bill going to be at the grocery store or at a restaurant. I've always been a firm believer in numerology, and I've gotten in this habit. It's so weird. I don't know really how. I think it started with a long commute. Like I was up, like traveling across town every day, pretty far for a job. I started reading license plates, and whatever numbers I was seeing were kind of. I don't have it here with me, but there's a little book called Angel Numbers, and it goes from 1 to 999, and each combination of numbers is um, a nice confirmation or devotion for the day. And I would remember that show we did, and you told me to bring out the angel cards. So it's very similar to this, like, say you see a number and so we're getting transformation for tonight, which is so apropos for Scorpio new moon. Um, so within days of this new moon, I believe it is tonight, if I'm not mistaken, we've got the sun going into Sagittarius. Yeah. Well, the 23rd. So we've got the sun moving into Sagittarius while the moon will go into Capricorn. And we've had Mars recently go into Sagittarius. So Mars, Sun in Sagittarius is a huge boost of energy. I mean, that's just like, you know, I think of Atlas with the world on his shoulders. So that's a 9. 9 is completion. We have been awakened as children, but we are made. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So you're so right about that too, Shabaka. And if we could just keep a hold of some of that childlike fascination with our adult life, I think we would be well served, because we are born with just a natural ability of that pure vibration, pure instinct, pure, no fear. And it's societal norms and mores that, pile on the fear, pile on the judgments, and pile on, these perspectives depending on where you live and who you're brought up with, and all of those different socioeconomic factors that shape us as into these adults with all the baggage of, well, I can't step on a crack in a sidewalk, and I've got to have 14 locks on my door, and, all those sort of psychosis types of mental things that develop, unfortunately. I have a neighbor who's Australian, and he drinks and gets high like a regular lifestyle. And he works, he does construction, and he's, as he puts it, he's really tough. And he's really tough. He's had a couple of divorces and children from various women, and he does seem to be very devoted to providing for his kids. I have to give him that, but he's just kind of a hot mess. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm bringing this up because you might relate to it with people close to you or in your family, and this kind of energy is the type of thing that would bring it out. Sagittarius wants to tell you the truth. It wants to be free of any heaviness, any heavy burdens, any heavy emotions. And that is that kind of lifestyle. My own brothers were like that. They're very, very paranoid. And so it's like everybody's like trying to get them or do something to them, or God forbid that they take any ownership for their own activity causing whatever they're dealing with. And so Venus in Sagittarius is all about freedom. That could be, ultimately having a love either from a foreign country, or that you go to a foreign country. There's a big element of multicultural things with Sagittarius. I have to tell you, I love my little stories, and I hope y'all find them entertaining. I went to see a singer named Boz Scaggs Wednesday night. He was popular, I think, in the 80s, and there were no young people there. So obviously he's not like drawing in a younger generation, but he was great. And if you heard some of his pop music from back then, you'd recognize him. But he's just been a solo songwriter, musician forever. He long time ago was part of the Steve Miller Band. And but yeah, Boz Scaggs, and he left the entertainment world for like 10 years, came back in the 90s to record. His one of two sons overdosed, so he went through the loss of a child. And he's 81 years old. and you would never know it. He came, so um, he came to this theater. It's a huge theater downtown, and filled it up. And he stood there for 2 hours nonstop singing and playing his guitar. And it was really, really good. I bought the t-shirt. Anyway, I decided to take a cab and not have to deal with downtown parking. And my cab driver was foreign. He was from Jordan, and his name was Jordan. I guess that's true. That was the story he told me. And he was so funny. And I was thinking about, this weekend, that whole Sagittarius energy connects you to other cultures and other countries and stuff. And he was telling me about it being at home in Jordan, and he's been here for like 10 years. He was so kind. So I get to the theater, he says, call him or text him when I'm ready when the show's over. I bought this ticket months ago because there's one song that was always one of my favorite songs that I wanted to hear. And it's called Love, Look What You've Done. And it's just this beautiful ballad song. So he played great music. He played a couple of his big hits, I think 3 of his big hits. He did not play my song.
Oh.
I understood it. It was an obscure song. It wasn't one that made him gold records or whatever. So anyway, big crowd coming out, standing on, Main Street downtown, waiting for my cab. And he picks me up, and he's real bubbly, and he's like, did you have a great time? I can't do his accent. I won't even try. Did you have a great time? Was it a good show? I was like, yes, it was a great show, but he didn't play my song. What song is that? And he dialed it up on his phone, and he played that song for my ride home. And I thought, what a kind person. And then he went into this whole thing about, let me play you my favorite song. And it was Arabic music, which I don't know anything about. But, he was so enthusiastic. And, and my neighbor that is from a foreign country, it's like when you see the United States through the eyes of someone not from here, it brings me to another appreciation of freedom, because we do have a lot of freedoms here we take for granted that other countries don't have. Mm-hmm. And there's other countries that have more freedoms than we do, I'm sure. But it's been an interesting few days between so my Australian's dogs keep getting loose. He has these 2 hound dogs. They're sisters, and they just jump the fence and they take a tour around the neighborhood. And there's been some jerk of a neighbor calling on him, and the police have been coming. And so anyway, this week his dogs got out. And there's a couple of us always try to find them and herd them back in before they get called on or the police come again. And I'm trying to read these. Let's see. What else I love about is that he's very mature for being, and he's some of them close to his mom and my dad's age, who, like, most people in the 60s can still rock. And so yeah, I mean, I was sitting there in this theater the other night thinking, I'm looking around and everybody is like old. I'm on the younger end and they're old, and I didn't see any young people. And there was this big burly guy sitting next to me, and I don't know, just like, where are the young people? I just said it out loud. I was like, where are the young people? Like, this is great music, And he was like, well, they're listening to their music, they're different generation, different Um, you know, such and I'm sure when I was young, I thought my parents' music sucked. I guess that's just a generational thing. I don't know. But, well, you just bring up Sting. That's interesting you bring up Sting because he's going to be here next April at this amphitheater. It's a new amphitheater built on a river, and they've been having some pretty big shows down there, and Sting is coming. So I started like looking into that. And in an amphitheater, you've got seats, but then you've got this whole lawn area, like where people can take blankets and hang out on the lawn. So, but it's pretty far from the stage. So the lawn tickets were like $150. Up front by the stage, the tickets are $1,100. And I'm like, you don't want people to come see you. I mean, who can afford that? Yeah, Chewbacca.
Chisa. It was Chisa.
She's
Yeah. She was talking about
Soft
Sting.
Desert Rose by Sting. I do too.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so this big burly guy sitting there, he's like, yeah, I'm not really a fan. I came because my wife likes him. And he's obviously very uncomfortable in the seat and everything, and
Yeah, because he's so big.
he talked about he had just had like a heart stent, and that he's kind of getting with the program, that he's got grandchildren and reason to like take care of himself and to stick around a while. He said, so I'm not a big fan, but well, I'm here, and I'm sure at the end of the evening I will have enjoyed it. And so towards the end, when the Boss Skaggs was about finished, he started playing like one of the Lido. Lido was one of his big hits, and Lowdown. And so all the rest of the music had been kind of blues and things that he had not, had an album of or whatever. And so when he started playing one of these popular songs, I was like, there you go. There's one of the pop hits. And he goes, not a fan, still not a fan. So it was like almost 2 hours into this show. This poor guy is like sitting there, to make his wife happy. And I'm thinking, I know a lot of men that wouldn't have done that. They would have just said, go with somebody else or whatever. And so I at the end, he goes off the stage, and everybody's standing up clapping, and this guy is going, no, please don't bring him back. Please don't bring him back. An encore, and I'm like, and I said to the man, I was like, look, he's 81 years old. He's doing damn good. I mean, his voice was the same as it's always been. He was always this sort of tall, broad, tall man. And he's like this little skinny guy now, like it just, I don't know. I'm glad I went. When I bought the ticket early in the summer, I was like, this is like an early Christmas present to myself. But I guess, all that Sagittarian energy has a lot to do with exploring different things, exploring different arts, exploring different genres, and, to entertain yourself. And my cab driver was telling me about his breakup, with his girlfriend, and she won't speak to him, and how it hurts, and I was just thinking, you don't hear that a lot, right? Men kind of keep their feelings bottled up, and this guy is. Cab drivers are interesting. I don't know if y'all are all taken many cabs or whatever. I have not used Uber or Lyft, and but I was thinking I need to write a book on cab drivers, because they're definitely a unique. That's a unique job, and he was telling me about all the people he meets, and he's just real chatty and telling all these stories. And yeah, confessions of a cab driver, that would be great. And I've never been into putting people in generations. My mom was born in 61. She was very open-minded with culture and age for friends. She also got, um, my mom was the same way. She was very progressive, and she was a Sagittarius. So she never did anything on trend. And that's the big thing about all this unique energy we're coming into for the end of the year for 2026. The Aquarian energy, the Sagittarian piece. This is all about be yourself, loud and proud. Do not, hide because of what you might think somebody thinks, or any kind of sort of preconceived delusion or paranoia, because it really is about your own unique soul and how you express it, and not ever letting anyone make you feel bad about that, no matter how unique it is. And so, one of the things about Sagittarius is they never want anything that's a fad. If it's like the new trend or whatever, Sag isn't going to go for it. They want to be, their own expression. It's a fire, creative energy and expression. So we've got that coming up. And then Saturn, I think I already mentioned this, is going direct. When Mercury goes direct, that's like right after. So next week is Thanksgiving. Can you believe that? So uh, Mercury is direct. So Saturn and Mercury will be going direct over Thanksgiving weekend. Saturn on the 27th and Mercury on the 29th. Then Venus enters Sagittarius that same time period on December 1st. So that's a lot of shift going on in the next week and next weekend. And, especially with if you celebrate Thanksgiving and that holiday, it typically brings people together that you're not used to being around, or people make an effort of getting together or seeing friends they haven't seen before. So anyone that's followed our show for a long time knows my mom died at Thanksgiving, and for the longest time, I would just go in a cave and not come out. It was not something I was going to ever participate in. It was the saddest time or whatever. So, it's been a lot of years since she's passed, and that's not how she would want me to do. And so every year is different. And one of the biggest things that grief taught me about that was that tradition can be new every year. I had an old fashioned mom as far as like country cook and gathering around the dining room table, and she'd start baking at Thanksgiving until Christmas, all kinds of homemade goodies. And so it was a very homey, very nurturing, homey kind of atmosphere. And so it's taken like several laps of figuring out, well, what is it? Because everything was always traditional for a long time. And then with her gone and my father gone, it was like, I don't have any traditions. And then it took me a while to figure out, well, that's okay. You don't have to have traditions, or your tradition could be new every year. So, I'm sorry. Loved ones tend to die around holidays. I don't know what that is, but it's certainly, I don't mean to sound like the Lone Ranger at all. And I know many people that go through a difficult time at the holidays because loved ones are gone. And so this year, I have some friends that live way out in the country, and she's an old country cook like my mother, right? She does everything from scratch. And every year she invites me. And mainly her kids. Like her and her husband, they're in their late 70s. I think he's like 82 now or whatever. They're very active. They have grown children like in their 40s and 50s. And I guess her grandchildren now are close to 20. And a couple of her kids, I just simply don't like. I mean, they just can be real assholes, to be honest, especially her daughter. And her daughter is one of these people that's always got to stir up some kind of confrontation with her brother or her dad or her mom. She's just very rude. So for a lot of years, I have been too busy. I usually, I'm going to do leaf management or some kind of project around the house for a long week. And so the other day, though, well, a couple of weeks ago, she was like, "Please come for Thanksgiving. You're not doing anything. I will give you food." That's what she said. "I will give you food to take home." And so, just the way she said it, I was like, and she's having a neighbor come over that's kind of a new neighbor. And she finally said, she goes, when people from the outside come, my kids behave. And so I thought that was funny. It's like when it's just her and the family, they all end up in some brawl. But if outsiders come, the kids behave, which sounds so sad in that these kids are like grown ass adults, I mean, they're not children. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't come empty handed. What do you want? And she says, bring a fruit pie. So I've been checking out recipes for apple pie and stuff. Yesterday, I'm working at home, phone call. This lady says, I'm in your driveway. Are you working at home? I said, yeah. And she said, I have something for you. And so it was an invitation that this group of women I know from doing antiques and auctions, they do like what we call a naughty body Christmas exchange every year. And you bring some silly gift and a side dish. And this invitation was telling you where and when and everything. And then please bring in a blank for your side dish. Well, mine said pie. I was like, well, that's the second request for pie I've gotten. So I'm going to be pie lady this Thanksgiving and Christmas. And meals, yes. Yes. I can relate to all of that. Yes, something changes as your family changes with holidays, if you let it. I mean, it takes a lot of something or other. Maybe it's the purging the grief or allowing it. I don't know. I think part of it is putting too much emphasis on the thing itself. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's nice and you'll eat well, or you'll cook something you don't normally cook. And yeah, the drama comes out in people. And one of the things that I felt when I was doing the article this time was, developing your sense of humor that that can help as an anecdote with the different shifts of energy. And I think we've already started seeing some craziness and on a social scale, looking at just things happening around us and anticipating things that might happen, things like that. So freedom and truth are the themes for going into the end of the year. And this Scorpio new moon kind of kicks it off with, I think, bringing light to some secrets. I don't know why I just thought of this, but there was a family growing up, didn't live too far from here. There were like 5 kids in the family. And one of the girls and I were in school together. And one of the big secrets that revealed late in life was that her younger sister, the dad was actually her next door neighbor, not her dad. The mom had had an affair with the next door neighbor. So that kind of like secrets coming out, that kind of thing. I could see a lot of that happening now. And all right, I've lost the chain of thought here. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure. Runs free, big crunch at home. Does he make you? Runs free, big crunch at home. Oh, Chewbacca's talking Mexican food for Thanksgiving. Hey, Chewbacca, I work with a nice young man from Canada, and I was talking to him today, asking him what does he do for Thanksgiving. He's vegetarian, and what are there foods or something different you think in Canada than from the States for Thanksgiving? Um, he is vegetarian, so he was talking about him and his girlfriend will make a big casserole of potatoes and a big casserole of okay, last month. Um, yeah, that's one of the things that I'd like to see, more truth come out about how history's been written. Um, there are nice stories. I don't know really that we've ever been told the truth. You do have the same meal. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm just going to be having pie. I think I'm just going to be doing pie this year.
Yeah, pie's good.
And so, anyway, let's see. So, this, in conclusion, the new moon in Scorpio and the retrograde energy, the changing of signs energy is all about a huge reality check. And you could see truths come out about pharmaceutical companies, oil and energy, and addictions. Those are all things represented by Scorpio, Neptune kind of energy. Sort of the dark side of people. You might see some dark side of people who you thought were really the bee's knees, and they weren't all that. So, in honor of the dark side, I brought out Black Moon Lilith astrology cards. And, I think I've used these recently. They don't show up great on the camera, but I don't know. What are you going to use?
I will use the energy oracle cards.
Okay. Canada is beautiful. I'm part French Canadian myself, and I have family who I don't know. History, her story, their story. Most of the truth is only told by, yeah, righto. All right, so we have Aries. So are you going to be typing this is weird. I wonder what's going on with the sound.
I don't know, but
Try energy.
the green dots on my side. No, I guess
Y'all
not.
can hear us. Yeah, I can't hear. Isn't that funny? We know how to adjust. So that is blossoming abundance. And I have, these are really thick cards. Sagittarius, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go with that freedom of truth coming out. Aries loves the truth. It's not a money issue.
Looks like the abundance.
It's a program issue. Is that the StreamYard program? I don't know. So for Aries, blossoming abundance and Sagittarius. So that to me says new opportunities, especially as Mercury goes direct, more activity would speed up for Aries. We have an Aries right now. Let me see where my planets are. We're getting ready for Scorpio, Sag. Yeah, so as we get towards the first of the year and Neptune gets into Aries and Saturn will not be far behind that. That's a totally, I think it's April of 2026 when we have Saturn and Neptune finally make their way into Aries. So that's going to be like a big structural energy boost for Arian energy. Neptune, Saturn can make dreams reality. Right now with Mars and Sag, Mars rules Aries, so that would be a very fired up kind of energy for the holidays for Aries people. Maybe be careful about being too compulsive, because Mars and Sagittarius would definitely make Aries more compulsive than usual. All right. Very good.
So next we have Taurus.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to hold the card away from your mouth so I can tell when you're speaking and I won't speak over you. We're working it out. What really sucks is being multiracial and light to fair skin, because unfortunately I have a black neighbor underneath me who's racist towards me and whites, which I have zero tolerance for any hate. Yeah, stay away from her for sure. I just can't even believe that stuff still. I just blows my mind. But I do think all of that's shifting for the better. Okay, so you've got broken heart. Ooh, I have void of course moon missing. So Taurus has maybe had some kind of disappointment. We do have what did I see going on in Taurus here? We have, oh yeah, Uranus. Uranus has moved back into Taurus this month where it was. So, that can be sudden, unexpected kinds of happenings. Maybe Taurus had something that didn't work out that was kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing too. It feels like a series of events where Taurus is hurt over a situation. So that's what I'm seeing here.
Void of course moon has a lot to do with kind of feeling misdirected or like out in the abyss, misdirection or but remember Taurus, Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio, so it has a lot of scorpion flavor, and that whole life death life cycle applies to a broken heart. Maybe it's just a heart opening, maybe whatever is perceived as a broken heart is really the opportunity to open your heart and find what's missing.
So next we have Gemini.
Oh, Verizon's thanking me for my payment. I kept hearing my phone go off, and I was like, what is going on? Now we have Gemini. And so, Uranus was in Gemini until the 8th or so of November, and then it's backed up into Taurus. Oh, look at this. We have the South Node, life's debts. Ooh, Gemini. And you have hostilities. Maybe Gemini's mouth has gotten it into kind of a pickle, is what I feel there.
Defending himself or herself.
The guy on your card reminds me of Nathaniel on Last of the Mohicans. Looks like the warrior dude.
Sorry, guys. My mind's in the gutter.
It's a weird looking animal, isn't it? It's like kind of like lizard, dinosaurish looking. Life's debts. So South Node is, where we've come from. Those are our past lives, and very familiar. So maybe for the coming holiday, oh, well, you might run up against that something that was uncomfortable with a family feud or misunderstanding of communication with somebody. He's got his sword there. He's like ready to do some confrontation.
Yeah, I really feel that they're just defending themselves. And so yeah, it feels like a struggle for Gemini.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini always seems to land on their feet, even when they get themselves in a little bit of a jam. I think they spread themselves thin, trying to be all over the place. I had two Gemini brothers. They were a mess. They were always moving, and it's ruled by Mercury, so they were always circulating and networking. Let's see. We've got Jupiter in Cancer right now. That's right. Jupiter in Cancer is very healing. Whoop. So Jupiter is Cancer is getting some Aries energy. I am an indecision. So this could be, Cancer is all about the home and mother. This could be all about trying to figure out where the heck you're going to go for that meal next week.
So you got two pies, like two.
Yeah. Indecision. Well, somebody I was talking recently about, they were going to 3 different homes to cover all their different bases for making everybody happy. That's crazy. That's like Little Red Riding Hood there. This is a lot of red in it too, so Cancer might be getting fired up about something.
It definitely seems tension. Like having a hard time of making a decision. Like I'm going somewhere. I'm going to your house,
I like it. Cancer can be kind of maudlin about holidays and sentimental, so maybe a little fire energy will get them more assertive. not so maudlin.
Yeah. So next we have Leo.
Leo. Leo loves to eat.
I also have
Oh,
indecision.
wow. You got indecision again, and I got truth.
Hmm.
Truth and Saturn. Wow.
Hmm.
Leo wants to get down to the bone of the matter.
Don't know what to do.
I like this. Leo likes the truth. They like a clean slate. Saturn and indecision, I guess trying to make some decisions about foundational items.
Hmm.
That's so funny. I said foundational items. It made me think about, buy a good bra.
Ah, Christmas list.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Uh, sounds good.
It's actually like a man in this picture. You don't see him very well, but he's there.
Mm-hmm. I see him at the top.
I guess he would be Father Time. He's
Mm.
got very, yeah,
Kind of like a outlook.
yeah. He looks determined. Leo can
Maybe,
definitely be hard headed and determined.
yeah, about seeing the overview of not being able to make a decision to the general. Yeah. Anyway.
I like it.
Next we have Virgo.
I've never seen that movie, Blood and Chocolate. There was a movie called Chocolat that was very, very good with Johnny Depp and the lady that she had a candy store and would make all this chocolate. She lived in this little religious town that thought it was the devil's work. Oh, right. He was a gypsy. Oh, Virgo, look, we got Scorpio in transformation for you. Sixth
Hmm.
chakra, Archangel Metatron. Wow, Virgo. New moon is setting you on fire to get some stuff done, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This looks like an energy for movers and shakers right there.
I mean, for myself, I have like a lot that's going on in my mind, and tonight I'm taking some time off so that for tomorrow, I could be more clear about the next steps that I need to do for um, how to change, how to improve. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. So yeah,
I like it.
okay.
I like it a lot.
So next we have Libra. Oh my
What do we
god.
have? Libra. You got indecision again. Well, that's famous. Libra and Gemini, the twins. So Libra is just going to be like all over the place for the holiday.
The thing is like confusion, like
Wow. What else is going on with
Like
Libra?
overthinking, maybe overthinking.
Hmm. So I don't see the next Libra moon until December 13th. We just came out of a Libra moon last week.
Maybe they're having a hard time making a decision.
Interesting.
Mm.
My neighbor is a Libra, and she's always very trying to decide and make a decision. And
So next we have Scorpio.
I don't have a channel. I have a website, lionmountainhealing.com. I have an Etsy shop through the website. And my email is lionmountainhealing@gmail.com. So this is it. This is our little, bi-monthly moon phases. I've thought about doing a channel. I tell you, I got a lot of irons and a lot of fires right now.
Yeah.
And it is something you kind of need to nurture, Scorpio. Scorpio new moon. Angel of strength. And I've got 7 house partners. Wow. So might be some romancing going on for Scorpio for the new moon. I like that strength card. This is 7th house. This is like marriages, partners, lovers. I know it's kind of hard to see in these cards, but there are 2 figures there embraced under a starry sky.
Yeah, I just had an anniversary, 2-year anniversary with me and mine. So that happened on Wednesday also. So
That lion is serious. Don't mess with that lion.
meow. Sounds good.
I just saw, she says, so Libra, Gemini energy in relationships, that's very social. I was wondering if y'all are always like planning and going and doing. That's very intellectual. It's a lot of air, like attending seminars and watching documentaries and or even teaching. It can also be you're the one circulating the information. Okay, let's see. Sagittarius, 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel, and I have Cancer. I feel. Ooh.
Feel what? Feeling good in the neighborhood. Oh.
I like it. With all this Sagittarius stuff and coming up. This feels like Sag is gonna break some boundaries or yeah.
Bedroom.
Yeah. I feel. Oh, that's funny that you mentioned say something about my accent.
Oh, really? Let's see.
I grew up with a girl from Toledo, Ohio, and took on like her diction. I'm from the South,
Mm.
but I've been known to use guys. Ka,
Ka.
ka, use ka.
Cut. Like a little cut.
So
Cat.
my brother used to always say this, won't you?
Won't
And we'd
cha.
make fun about what is won't you? You know, that's its own little, yeah, it's a regional thing.
Yeah.
We have Capricorn all tied up. Capricorn
Mm-hmm.
busy, busy, busy. Oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
look at this. These cards are really thick. This is Mars, the force.
The
So
force be
the
with you.
alcoholic Capricorn is going to get even more fired up and busy, looks like.
Mm. Also, it feels like I'm forcing myself to work. I don't like it. I don't like that, but um I think it's because of the fire energy. It's not like a thing. But yeah, maybe that's the thing that we need to take it to the next level. Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Are you cooking for Thanksgiving? Yes.
Honey baked ham.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me write it down.
I haven't seen lizard lick towing in a long time. It did make me laugh though. But I also got rid of cable. If my antennas don't pick it up, ah, that sounds delish with pineapple. Mac and cheese, all the boys' favorites. Oh well, that's okay. We're winding down to the end of the year, so it it becomes a little
Oh, Shabaka, I eat meat now.
well,
So like hold on.
you know, I've noticed that so many places have like these pre-order meals. You just order and pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Okay, next we have Aquarius.
Aquarius. I love my Aquarians.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, Sun Spirit. Door to personal healing and happiness. This is lovely, Aquarius. You know, the power of the sun to heal. Aquarians can be very sensitive and get their feelings hurt deeply, and that can kind of make them kind of ice out. The planet Uranus is its ruler. It actually runs very hot or cold on the surface of Uranus, and that can often be manifested through Aquarian people, or they just run hot and cold, and they can, you think that they're cold, but they're really just, their feelings are hurt and they're detaching as
Mm.
a self-preservation or protection.
I really feel like it's actually okay around this time because they're healing and they're receiving the healing from the sun. And so And I see here number 1 on your side. So,
I like it. Door
yeah.
to personal healing and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's good. Let's see here.
I think I missed a whole group of chatting. I really got excited with the Aquarius Sun Spirit card and open doors to healing.
Well, now we're on Pisces.
Technology that is supposed to be coming more and more available, the med beds, and it's about recalibrating your own natural vibration. Second house owning. So this is the Taurus house for Pisces, and the Magician in the mirror. How interesting. So this kind of, harps back on with this Neptune and Pisces energy, um, and keeping an eye on your finances, keeping an eye on your personal information, and
Hmm.
owning. This is about possessions. Maybe with the Magician, it's about manifesting possessions that you desire.
To me, I really feel like Pisces is, I don't want to say it's like a manipulator or someone who can manifest or conjure up a way to maybe take ownership of something or taking something, or acquiring something. It could be through work, is what I'm also seeing here. But there's definitely some form of change when it comes to like third party situations. At least that's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, because I see that you have coins, so like it's like money. Maybe finally owning a house. Yeah, that's what I
I
have.
read something about how they're no longer going to be making pennies, and that now, if you catch new pennies coming out and hold on to them, they'll be worth a lot of money one day. Isn't that funny? Like it costs them more to make a penny than their value, so they're
Uh-huh.
gonna like get them out of circulation. But if you hold on to a few of the new ones, they'll be worth some money one day. Does that make any sense at all?
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Let me see here. I want to see something here with my. I think the full moon is around December 4th. I'm not positive though. Let's see here. Yes. Full moon in Gemini on Thursday, December the 4th. So we'll reconvene and hear about everybody's holiday.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds good.
Well, I bet you haven't had dinner yet, have you?
No.
I haven't had dinner yet. Yeah, I haven't either. And it's even later for me. I was thinking about popping popcorn and bringing it up here and
Eating.
stuffing my face with popcorn. I thought, well, that'd be kind of rude. Who wouldn't want that?
uh, well,
Yes, Chewbacca. We want you in a good mood. Linda, I think it's all about vibrations. I think every single thing comes down to our vibrations. You gotta keep them high, keep them high. There's a lot of negativity. It tries to bring us down. I think that's why I make myself get out to listen to live music whenever I can, because there's something about live music that speaks to the soul and vibration. Well, the opposite of Leo is Aquarius. So, Leo colors typically are the golds and earthy tones, and then Aquarius are the blues and purples. So it just might mean you're pulling more on your Aquarian side. Yeah. Well, Scorpio moon, I'm going to have you wrap us up.
Okay.
So you can get in and feed your animals and children and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Luna and Tommy doing okay?
Yeah. Luna is, she's snoring, and then Tommy is sleeping somewhere. So yeah, both of them are.
Ooh, Shibaka has a new man on the horizon.
He made the appointment on. My monkey. Oh, my monkey is my boyfriend. But no, not. That's funny. He calls
Yes.
me the
Yes.
monkey. Okay.
Well,
So, I will let you go eat,
yes.
and then,
Yes. I need to read what you sent me.
yes.
Yeah. Sign language now. All right. I was going to bring my Leon up here to be with us for this night, and uh, figured he would just probably not be still and take all the attention, and so I left him downstairs. But I sure do appreciate you all, and appreciate your patience with our technology.
Yeah, I think we did okay for today. It's fine.
We'll talk over the weekend. How about that? That'd be all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm going to say goodnight. See you in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about the full moon in Gemini. All right.
Sounds good.
Blessings to everyone. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. Yes.
All righty. See you later.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
We appreciate you all.
All right, guys. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you all next time. All right. Bye-bye.